Elections are part of the democratic process. We vote to determine who will represent us in Parliament. Those representatives are our members of Parliament, or Députés, of whom there are 60 in total. You must meet certain conditions in order to be eligible to vote in parliamentary elections. First of all, you must be 18 years of age and have Luxembourgish citizenship. Voting in Luxembourg is mandatory until the age of 75. But this does not mean that you should not vote after that age. You also have the right to run for elected office, provided you are at least 18 years of age and are resident in Luxembourg. Parliamentary elections are held every 5 years. This is when citizens decide whether they are satisfied with the work of their representatives and what policies they would like to support in the future. Before the elections, the parties draw up their lists of candidates. People with no party affiliation can also run for office. A party is a group of people who have the same or similar ideas about how society should function. During the election campaign, parties and candidates present their programs and try to win over the voters by putting up posters, holding meetings, or through appearances in the media. This is a good opportunity for voters to get informed in the run-up to the elections and to form an opinion. In Luxembourg, elections are always held on Sundays. The country is divided into 4 constituencies: North, South, Centre and East. To ensure that every region is properly represented, the number of members of Parliament for a particular constituency depends on the number of inhabitants. Thus, the South has 23, the Centre 21, the North 9, and the East only 7 deputies. So a voter in the South has more voting choices than one in the East. Voting is by secret ballot. Voters cast their ballot papers alone in a voting booth so that they can freely choose who they wish to vote for. The ballot shows the names of candidates in the form of the lists drawn up by the parties. You can also vote by post. You have various options when you vote. You can select a party, that is to say one whole list. Every candidate on that list will then receive 1 vote. You can also choose individual candidates from the same party and give each of them 1 or 2 votes. Or you can distribute your votes between lists if you prefer candidates from different parties. This is known as panacheren. If you write or draw anything on the ballot paper, it is no longer secret, and as such becomes invalid. Blank ballots are also invalid. When the polling stations close, the votes are counted by volunteers. The party with the most votes in a given electoral constituency will gain the most seats in Parliament. The candidates with the most votes are elected. Then it is time to see which party, or which coalition of parties, has got more than half of the 60 seats. Most of the time, no single party wins more than 30 seats. Instead, 2 or more join forces to form a majority. If they agree on a joint programme for the next 5 years, they form a coalition government. Elections are at the core of our democracy and are organised in accordance with strict rules. Every 5 years, you can have your say as to who should represent your interests and those of our society in Parliament.